Hello my friends and welcome back once again to another video here for you on Life's Biggest Questions. I'll be your host, Jared Bronstein, and before we jump into it, make sure you are subscribed to the channel and have turned on notifications so you can always have those questions you may have answered by us. Be sure to drop us some comments below as well for a chance to get a feature in our next video. And of course, stick around toward the end of the video where I'll be replying to some comments from a previous video that you guys left us. Alright. Now let's jump into this. Although both the government of Greenland and leaders of Denmark have both made it clear the world's largest island isn't for sale, President Trump is still trying to determine what it would cost if they were interested, claiming everyone has a price. So we decided to ask the question, what would happen if President Trump actually bought Greenland, and how much would it cost? Although Greenland has its own government and technically run themselves, its sovereign owner is Denmark, who covers them on defense and foreign policy. But if Trump wanted to buy Greenland, he'd most likely speak with Greenland directly. Now just to clarify, it'd be the US government buying Greenland, not President Donald Trump personally. Either way, President Trump believes Greenland costs Denmark about 700 million US a year, which led the Financial Times to put an estimated value on the country at approximately $1.1 trillion. Quite a hefty price tag for a large island mostly covered in ice. So why has Trump shown any interest at all? It's believed the purchase would help stall Russia's attempts to strengthen their military and would also make the US stronger competitors with China, who showed interest in building new airports and mining facilities on Greenland as recently as 2018. With climate change causing the region of Greenland to melt and open up new sea lanes and shipping routes, China and Russia have also taken steps to carve new routes for shipping and focused on strengthening their military presence respectively. But what does this have to do with the USA? Let's explore these ideas more, starting with China. With the ice melting, China could find easier shipping routes and could leverage their access to rare earth minerals when discussing import and export deals with the US. With China already being the leader in the industry, the access to even more minerals would give them a huge advantage, something the US couldn't afford to happen. They could also, of course, use the land to help strengthen their military, but it seems like this is something Russia is more focused on. Although the Russians would also be interested in Greenland's unknown supply of oil, gas, and rare metals as well, it seems the main focus would be establishing a military presence on and around the land. Now, it's important to mention Denmark, who oversees Greenland's military, is a loyal ally with the US because they're both a part of NATO, an alliance between the two and a handful of other countries. So then why would Trump want full control over Greenland? Well, to make sure Russia has no intelligence in or around the country, including the waters. Although it seems Trump and Putin have a good relationship, Trump's remarks in regards to looking into buying the land shows the country still has its reservations when it comes to its relationship with Russia as a country. But let's say hypothetically the US actually bought Greenland. What would happen? Well, I think it'd put an even bigger strain on the American-Chinese relationship that is already a little rocky. Currently discussing trade talks, which seem to be going in circles, I believe if the US had the leverage of owning Greenland, China would feel they needed a way to fire back to protect themselves. Although it's unclear what the retaliation would be, I can tell you it wouldn't be beneficial for the US economy. In turn, that would also possibly affect relationships with American allies, such as Canada and other countries which are in Europe. Russia would also possibly see this as an aggressive move, which could potentially push them to ally with China in more ways than one. This could also be seen as a problem for the US, considering how China and Russia have quite strong armies. Now, the common belief is that the US have the strongest army in the world, but if a potential war broke out between the US and an allied China and Russia, there's no telling how it would turn out. Of course, the US has tons of allies, and even if the countries didn't literally go to war, I think it's safe to say the purchase would put a strain on any relationship they currently have. This would mean tougher imports of general goods and natural resources, which would most likely affect the US economy and the cost of living for everyday Americans. Aside from political gain, Greenland also has a ton of fresh water, so it could potentially be an exporter of energy as well, which would help the US grow their economy even more, and the possibility of offshore oil, although that hasn't been explored much as of late by Greenland's government. Now, of course, the idea of President Trump's government buying Greenland is just that, an idea. Both Denmark and Greenland have made it clear they're not entertaining the idea of selling, but Greenland's premier, Kim Kielsen, made it clear Greenland is open for business, just not for sale. As of now, it seems like it's going to be a waiting game as to who can agree on what. Before climate change, a lot of these potential shipping routes and military threats were stagnant because there is no way of getting around. Now that the ice is melting, the land itself has become of large interest to these countries. So to wrap up, it's possible President Trump buying Greenland could potentially start a third world war. But I don't see that happening anytime soon. especially since Greenland has made it very clear they aren't for sale in the first place. Now, as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the potential of Trump buying Greenland. Do you think it'd be a good move for the US or a bad move? You gotta let me know why or why not in the comments down below. For now, I'll be replying to some comments from the video, what would the world look like if we drained all the water? Potato Mato said, Earth would look like Aquaman on meth. I don't really have much of a response to that comment, I just thought it was really funny. I don't really know how you made that comparison, because Aquaman's like a pretty built guy, and I feel like people on meth, it slowly destroys their body, so I don't really know how you got that comparison, but good imagination, I guess. Dominic Scott said, I'll be on Mars already drinking Hennessy. Wow. Dominic, you got it all planned out, my guy. End of the world will not stop this man from drinking his Henny. I like it, I respect it. Gaming with Blazer Plays said, this channel is why I get A+ in school. It's a bit of an unfair advantage. I didn't have this channel while I was in school, which is probably why I failed most of my courses. But somehow I still got a job here, so goes to show you, kids. Don't worry about your grades. I'm kidding, you totally should do well in school, it's very important. But if you don't, it's not the end of the world, I guess. I don't know, stay in school and listen to your parents. I'm not a dad yet, don't take advice from me. And that does it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. Give it a good old thumbs up, and of course, share it with a friend. Drop us a comment down below with your thoughts on the video, and if you think buying Greenland would be a good move for the US, why or why not, for a chance to be featured in our next video, and we'll see you guys soon.